Congress just passed one of the most extreme bills in modern history, Trump's big, beautiful bill. It cuts healthcare, slashes food assistance, funds mass deportation, and hands billionaires a massive tax break, all while ballooning the national debt. So, how did this nightmare become law? Let me walk you through it. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe. We do 5 videos a week on whatever is going on, breaking it down for you. And today's video, well, there is a lot going on, so let's get right in. In May, the House passed a mega bill reviving Trump's 2017 tax cuts, hiking the debt ceiling by $4 trillion, and slashing Medicaid and food stamp support. Yale's budget lab said it would add $2.4 trillion to the national debt by 2034. A few Republicans pushed back, some over tax breaks, others over Medicaid cuts, but then Trump showed up, but land the plane, and most of them did. Only 2 voted no, Thomas Massie and Warren Davidson. Then the bill made it to the Senate. To bypass a filibuster, Republicans used budget reconciliation, aka Congress's cheat code. They used it to pass the bill with a simple majority. The vote deadlocked 50-50. J.D. Vance broke the tie. Leading up to the vote, all eyes were on 4 Republican holdouts: moderates Lisa Murkowski and Susan Collins, and fiscal hawks Tom Tillis and Rand Paul. Murkowski held out just long enough to score oil drilling money, clean energy perks, and a pause on gutting food stamps. She then folded.
Do I like this bill? No.
Rand Paul described the vote as a bailout for Alaska at the expense of the rest of the country. Tillis and Collins stayed opposed. Democrats tried to stall the vote by reading the entire bill aloud, but it didn't work. Back in the House, things got even messier. Republicans could only afford to lose 3 voters. Procedural votes stalled, rebels ranted, and deals were flying. Trump went full caps lock on Truth Social because of course he did. And even Elon Musk threatened to bankroll primary challenges to anyone who voted yes. Behind the scenes, Trump and other MAGA loyalists were scrambling desperately to make sure the vote went through. Deals, promises, bribes, threats, arm twisting, whatever they could do to make it happen, they were doing it. It's a very yucky way to do politics. And all because Trump insisted it must be done by the 4th of July. Speaker Johnson held the vote open for 7 hours, the longest in history. By Thursday morning, the rebels folded and the bill advanced 219 to 213. Hakeem Jeffries dropped an 8-hour speech to try and delay the final vote. It didn't work. The bill passed anyway. In the end, only 2 GOP reps held out, Thomas Massie and Brian Fitzpatrick, who, for the record, voted for Kamala last election. The bill is passed and now it's set to reshape US politics for years to come, in the worst possible way. I urge you to remember the names of every single person who voted yes on this bill, because they have taken your future from you. What is in the bill? The bill doesn't just mess with numbers on a spreadsheet, it hits real people. Seniors, students, parents, low-income families, pretty much everyone's getting something taken, trimmed, or tangled. Oh, unless you're already a billionaire. It locks in Trump first-term era tax cuts for the rich, throws more cash at border enforcement, and tries to balance the books by slashing the social safety net. The biggest hit? Medicaid. If you're an adult on Medicaid, you'll now need to prove you're working, volunteering, or in job training for at least 80 hours a month. That includes parents with kids over 14. Congrats! Parenting is no longer enough work, and you're not allowed to be sick unless you're employed. I want you to understand that in Trump's America, that means you do not deserve to live unless you are working to generate profit for someone else. States will also get less federal Medicaid funding, which could mean fewer benefits, stricter enrollment rules, and a paperwork nightmare for anyone trying to stay covered. And yeah, to top it off, you might start having to pay up to $35 for certain care now. The result? According to the Congressional Budget Office, around 12 million more people could be uninsured by 2030, mostly thanks to these Medicaid changes. But hey, at least the border wall gets more funding. Do you think this bill only hits people on welfare? No, it's coming for everyone. Food stamps, or SNAP. Work requirements are expanding, now hitting people 55 to 64 years of age, veterans, foster youth, the homeless, and parents of teens, meaning you have to be working to get food stamps. Does that make sense to you? States also have to start paying into SNAP, which could lead to benefit cuts or states pulling out entirely, and future increases have been capped. Oh, maybe you're not on any of these programs. It still matters. Hospitals warn the Medicaid cuts could trigger closures and reduce services, especially in rural areas. And local grocers say SNAP cuts could tank small-town economies. Immigration. As you can imagine, under Trump and his army of troglodytes, there is nothing good in here for immigrants. The bill slashes benefit eligibility for many non-citizens, including refugees and survivors of violence. It also jacks up fees for asylum, work permits, and immigration court filings. Because people seeking asylum usually have their little fee ready to go. The bill sets aside a whopping $170 billion for Trump's immigration agenda, including $45 billion for new detention centers and $30 billion for ICE hiring, transport, and facility upgrades. With detention centers already overcrowded, this cash could expand capacity to at least 116,000 beds, according to the American Immigration Council. But I have a crazy idea. What about not locking up every frickin' immigrant you see pass you on the street? You might have some more room. You might not be at capacity. 100,000? How many people do you want to lock up? Critics say it might reduce overcrowding, sure, but it's also laying the groundwork to end catch and release and just ramp up mass detention. So more ICE, more cells, more deportations, less freedom for a lot of people. There's more in there too, right? Like the tiny detail that this ridiculous bill is going to increase national debt by $4 trillion. Trillion! Or how any sort of protection for the environment is completely gutted. This bill is indescribably horrific. So what is this all for? Surprise! The rich win big. The bill gives 60% of the tax benefits to the top 20% of earners, people making $217K or more. They'll pocket around $12,500 on average. The top 1%, they're looking at a $290,000 annual gain. Oh because Jeff Bezos really needs more money. You can't pay rent. You can't even go to the hospital now. Eggs are $1 million. But hey, let's give Jeff more money for another $50 million ugly wedding and to treat his workers like garbage. Meanwhile, folks earning under $35K get about $150. And those safety net cuts, they hit low-income households even harder, shrinking their actual take-home income. Oh, and the middle class? Well, they'll see around $1,800 in cuts. But that's before factoring in things like Medicaid and SNAP changes, or inflation, or the cost of living crisis, or the tariff charges. Big businesses and mega corporations, though, they are celebrating. Yay for them! Bottom line, the richer you are, the better this bill treats you. Everyone else, fight for scraps. This bill is one of the most consequential and brutal pieces of legislation in recent memory. It costs more than Trump's COVID rescue bill, Biden's, Trump's first-term tax cut, Bush's tax cut, or Obama's stimulus checks. To cover the cost of feeding the greedy dragons, it cuts healthcare, slashes anti-hunger programs, and hikes utility and education costs. The fallout is catastrophic. Let's have a look in numbers. 1.9 million lose their primary care doctor. 1.3 million miss out on needed medication. Nearly 400,000 women skip mammograms. Hundreds of clinics and hospitals shut down. And according to Yale researchers, the bill causes 51,000 deaths every year. How can this be undone? Unfortunately, it will not be easy to untangle this mess. There will likely be suit attempts based on constitutional grounds, but whether they're successful or not is up in the air. There really is only one way to undo this: a change in government. Possibly whatever president has to take over this dumpster fire would have to put forward a bill a similar size, custom made, just to undo this one. You're already deep in the hole, America, but there is something you can do. These Republicans who voted yes can be voted out by you. I don't care if you're a lifelong Republican, a staunch Bernie bro, or even a MAGA guy. These people lied to your frickin' face. They took your access to healthcare to line their own pockets. They chose their fear of Trump and their need for power over their commitment to the American people, which is literally their job. So what do? You fight. Vote them out. Every last one of them who said yes to this monstrosity. Your paycheck, your doctor, your food, your life. Remember their names. Remember what they took from you. And don't forget it when you vote.